In our last video discussing Smash leaks, we talked about the Grins leak, one of the most infamous fake leaks in Smash history. But if we're looking at leaks that turned out to be real, one stands even higher. A leak that had many doubters behind it despite its droves of evidence. My name is Lev, and welcome to a 10-year look back at the ERSB leak. First announced in E3 2011 along with the reveal of the Wii U, and first shown off in E3 2013, Smash 4 was a unique wait period for being the second Smash game to follow the rise of the internet, along with the easier accessibility to Photoshop and 3D rendering software. This resulted in many leaks being made during the wait cycle. Most of them were pretty bad, and even the believable ones had a lot of counter evidence against them, with a few exceptions here and there. But along with Smash leaks also came speculation on who was getting into the roster. This included rumored picks from other leaks like Sulk or the Course Kids, or returning picks like Solid Snake and Mewtwo. And it was doing a 4chan thread on the V board that discussed which of these fighters would return, that an image showcasing all of the revealed newcomers and left out veterans would be posted on August 19th, 2014. This image will later be edited and reposted by another user on a different thread with new icons for all of the unrevealed veterans and newcomers, along with a question mark on Mewtwo. But before anyone could even question that, a user known as Mr. Motherfucking Leaker would post this on us. One being a render of Ness and Duck Hunt Dog, and a second being the entire roster of the game. Last but not least would be a third user that would post 5 more images, consisting of the menu, renders like Bowser Jr. with his clown car, and a username of ERSB0083, giving this leak its connection to the ERSB rating board and its name. When we mentioned the Grins leak back in my old video, it was pretty split on which side either believed or didn't believe in the leak's authenticity, with it tending to go to the former rather than the latter. The ERSB leak was pretty much the opposite, with there being countless attempts from Smash fans to deconfirm this leak in any way possible. Some of the most notable claims would come from that of the roster, with characters like Dr. Mario, Doc Pit, and even Duck Hunt Dog to a certain extent being viewed as baffling picks in comparison to characters like Roy or Mewtwo. Along with those picks, people also criticized the roster for being unorganized, like Yoshi being separate from the Mario cast, clones being separate from their franchises, and Sulk being a part of the third parties. But if complaining about organization wasn't enough for evidence, Smash fans also had artwork to use as claims. People thought that Dr. Mario's render was a Photoshop of a popular fan render of him. Others claimed that Wario's render was a cut and paste from his expression in the Subspace Emissary. And others went as far as to say that Duck Hunt was a Photoshop of Goofy. Goofy! But one of the most infamous claims of Photoshop came from that of Sulk, as many people believed that Sulk's render was a Photoshop of this Little Max screenshot from Sakurai's pick of the day, which even after the ERSB leak is still remembered as a pretty big meme back in the day. And that is only scratching the surface of all the claims that were out there to allegedly disprove it. with websites like the Smashboards, GameFAQs, and many others being pretty content with viewing this leak as a fake. But just like any other leak, this leak would take an interesting turn in the following days, leading up to its confirmation. Following the screenshots on 4chan, a user known as MasterLinkX on GameFAQs would upload screenshots of a team battle on Yoshi's Island. These pictures would also start their own debate within the community about their authenticity. But MasterLinkX, for some reason, would admit that he photoshopped these images, with the Smash community viewing this admission of guilt as confirmation of this leak being nothing more than an elaborate yet easily disproven hoax. But right when the ERSB leak was being pushed aside by the community, a YouTube user known as Is That True would upload full gameplay of a team battle from MasterLinkX's screenshots, along with a free-for-all between Bowser, Kirby, Jr., and Pikachu on Battlefield. These were much harder to prove as fake due to them being full videos. And while some made arguments that they were nothing more than Project M mods, Nintendo of America's takedown of these videos would confirm this leak. After the takedown, more screenshots of the game would flood the internet, including this cut trophy of the Fire Emblem character Farza, that was removed in the final release as a possible result of a revealing design. In the following months, Nintendo would slowly release the trailers for the rest of the newcomers, starting with Shulk in a Japanese exclusive direct, with moves and a design that lines up with the leak. The later released American trailer for Shulk was even called "Looks Like We Don't Have a Choice," as a possible acknowledgement of the leak. And while these trailers were still fun and all, they definitely lost a lot of that initial hype from the previous trailers due to this leak. And that disappointment, along with the memes, would be the legacy of this leak for nearly a decade after its claim to fame. That would be the case until a YouTuber would get to the bottom of this mystery. Did You Know Gaming is a YouTube channel responsible for making videos regarding gaming, like lost games, fun facts, and in this case, leaks. In their video, The Biggest Video Game Leaks Ever, they researched the history and cause for the ERSB leak in one of their segments. So I highly recommend you to watch this video after mine, as it goes way more in detail about what they discovered in their research. View this more as a basic rundown of what happened to make this whole story come full circle. The biggest detail that came from this video would be the fact that this leak wasn't recorded or received from the ERSB rating board as many thought, as the ERSB takes reviewing unreleased games very seriously, as no one is able to leave the room while it's being playtested. This wouldn't give anyone the opportunity to record this, especially within a dark and private room like the leak showed. In reality, the leak originated from a kid of a Nintendo employee who dealt with ERSB compliance and localization. And after using his parents' Wi-Fi that was connected to confidential Nintendo information, he took this footage and pictures on his phone and shared it to his tight-knit friend group with the promise to not release it. But one of the members of the friend group would show it to their friend group with the same promise, and that would continue for a while until one of the friends would release it to the public. After Nintendo heard about the leak, they would quickly track down this employee and fire him. And whatever happened to the kid in the aftermath, let's just say, was probably not pretty. The ERSB leak, while being forgotten today, still stands as an interesting footnote in our community's history, on how a leak that would be instantly believed today was viewed as a fake back then due to the couple of odd pics and design choices. And hopefully, we won't have to experience this leak in the next Smash game for the sake of the hype cycle, and whatever Nintendo employee might be out there.